Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and this is my LEGO collection back in my home state of Seattle, Washington. But here's the thing, I don't always live here in Washington. You know, there are other places I live as well. And wherever I live, I often find myself setting up some sort of satellite collection, because I can never live anywhere for longer than a month and not collect LEGO at the same time. And so join me for a tour of not my LEGO collection, but my satellite LEGO collection located in New York City. My New York LEGO-themed apartment, which is, as of right now, fully stocked with all sorts of LEGO filling up all the shelves. There's LEGO hanging from the ceilings, LEGO mounted to the walls. It's basically like a mini version of this. So let's transport ourselves all the way over to New York City right now. Okay. Here we are at the entrance to my New York apartment, which in just a span of about a month and a half has already become filled with LEGO. There's a reason why I'm giving this tour now, and that's because I'm going to be taking as much LEGO home as possible to clear the shelves to make it ready for the brand new summer releases. But for now, it's pretty packed, so let's take a look. As we get in here, of course, I've started to already populate the area around my space with some LEGO artwork, like the Keith Haring dancing figure set here, which at the time of recording is not released yet, but I was sent early for review. And then over here, I put together a custom Bionicle Kanoka disc display, showcasing all the different Kanoka, and you can even see they have their powers listed. So for instance, you've got the Great Disc, number 429, which has the power of freezing for Kometru, and then over here you have the power of weekends, the power of teleportation, enlarging, regeneration, and reconstitutes at random for Onumetru. Down here is a section dedicated to the Throwbots discs. The Throwbots or Slicers were the precursors to LEGO Bionicle, and they had some discs of their own. Obviously, my collection isn't 100% complete. I'm missing like a couple here and there, but it's close enough that I figured it made sense to put on my door. At the very bottom, we have all of the Robo Rider wheels that I own, still managing to try to collect some of these other ones, and the very elusive golden wheels, some of which retail for around hundreds of dollars a piece. But you can see most of these are fully complete from all the different Robo Riders from the year 2000, another precursor to Bionicle, and for each of these I've gotten printed tiles which showcase which characters are actually on the wheels, as well as for the Throwbots and Slicer discs, what each of the discs are showcasing. So for instance, you have here, this is the heavy water power source for the rock and granite Throwbot. You have the elemental sub symbol or the special pearl oxygen and hydrogen power source, and all of these are actually from the LEGO magazine's lore. But you haven't seen anything yet, so let's go on in and see the little miniature satellite collection, which is technically just an extension of the Duckbricks vault. So welcome into my apartment here in New York. This is about as fully packed as I could let it be. And as you can see, as I'm closing the door here, I literally used so much space and covered as much space as I could that there's literally a retail store banner draping over the wall that you kind of have to just like, as you open the door, it's not as bad as you think. You kind of open it up, and then you just swing close and it goes over the door. But you can see here we have all sorts of different LEGO displays, a lot of different banners, and LEGO items on the shelves. One thing I wanted to really do here was take advantage of wall space. If you've seen my tour videos back at home in Washington, you might notice that I don't really have any banners like these displayed because I really just don't have the room to have those displayed. Literally every single inch of wall space is covered by shelving or wall-mounted models. But here, I actually had a little bit of leeway because obviously, I didn't really want to mount shelves of LEGO directly above my bed. Just in case something were to fall, I would rather not have falling LEGO on me while I'm sleeping, so this was the perfect place to put some banners. Same for right over my desk here, so I had managed to pick up a ton of banners. There was a seller in Singapore that just had a ton of them, and I wanted to get a lot of representation from some of my favorite themes. So of course you have Bionicle 2006, Hakan the Paraka over here. Over here, we have Ninjago, the Tournament of Elements, featuring Master Chen and his Noodle Empire, where you can see the Tournament of Elements banner right here from 2015 Ninjago Season 4. And then we have Bionicle 2005, the Vizirac right here, the main villains for 05. And then going over here, of course, we have to have Wu versus Garmadon, and it was okay to kind of have the bottom half of that banner be hidden behind my bed because I really wanted to focus on the top half with Wu, Kai, and Cole. You also have the LEGO Lego Exoforce banner here. That's probably one of the rarer ones from 2006, 2007. And one of my favorites here, which is the original Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu banner, featuring that original artwork that you can see that's very iconic now. Of course, there is one more to face off against Akan, who's on the other side of the room. We have Toa and Nika Jaller from the 2006 Bionicle wave. And then finally, this was kind of a surprise. I intended to get a gigantic banner of the Kanohi Hao, but unfortunately, the seller said they couldn't find it, so they said they're going to swap it out for a different banner of my choice, and I chose this Legends of Chima banner, which technically is a Ninjago banner now, because the realms are canonically merged. Moving on to over here, there's just some fun other displays. Of course, I have to have my Star Wars Death Star lights on, which you can see. They can also turn red if you really want to set a party mood there. But of course, we have the Lego F1 cars mounted to the wall. You have the Speed Champions version as well as the tiny little collectible minifigure style version displayed alongside them. And I've left some empty space here because there are going to be some new Speed Champions releases coming out in the next few months, so I've kind of left room for expansion there. Speaking of stuff mounted to the walls, we've got some other Lego items I've picked up. These are actually older items. You have a model team race car here, which I figured fit the racing theme, as well as a Lamborghini police car, which is kind of wild. Imagine getting pulled over in this thing. As well as the actual Bricker Builds Cal Kestis lightsaber. This is one of my favorite lightsabers that just exists in the Star Wars canon, and it's actually really cool. You can kind of pose with it. I wouldn't recommend dueling with it, but you can kind of very gently swing it around. And it is a really cool model, so I wanted to showcase it here. This is just something I have been waiting to build for a long time and haven't really gotten to build yet. Speaking of lightsabers, I just got back from a trip to Disneyland, so of course, I had to get the 3 lightsabers I didn't own yet. If you know me, you know I also collect lightsabers, and I own every single Galaxy's Edge lightsaber, aside from these 3, which I do now. This one belongs to Gungi, the Wookiee Jedi, as seen in the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. This one is Mara Jade's from the Extended Universe, and then this one belongs to the Ren, the original leader of the Knights of Ren, who appeared in some of the comic books for Star Wars. But we haven't even talked about the Lego in this room. Now, obviously, this is just a microcosm of what this room is going to look like. Because I'm on limited space, I will go back home to my main collection every month and bring back as much Lego as I can. Literally empty the shelves as best as possible. And obviously, there are some things I want to hold on to for longer, but this basically just represents the months of April and May, and really just the beginning of May. It's mostly just the end of March and the beginning of April, and pretty much everything I've accumulated since that time. Down here you have the LEGO Ideas STEM display, which is pretty cool. It's kind of a nice little display here, and LEGO actually sent me all of the LEGO Friends sets that came out earlier this year as part of a thank you for a social post I did for them, so you have them all kind of scattered throughout my room. This one's my favorite here. It's an extension of those streets that LEGO has been doing really nicely for Friends. Moving up here, we've got the Sherlock Holmes Book Nook, which is a brand new set in a new series of sets, as well as some of the May Star Wars releases like the Kylo Ren helmet, Jango Fett helmet, and Chopper, as well as the Super Mario sets, some of which I also received from LEGO. Moving up here, we have the Star Wars logo. Honestly, I'm probably going to leave that here. This one's actually pretty cool to have in my room. I will find some way to wall mount this, so this one's probably going to become a permanent fixture. But then all around it, we have some other random LEGO sets. One of the interesting sets I picked up was a LEGO Classic brick box of transparent pieces. I don't normally get LEGO Classic sets because they're just plain bricks, but they actually recolored a lot of interesting pieces in transparent colors specifically for that set. So I had to pick it up and see what it was about. Now up here is a pretty cool one. We have the LEGO Ideas Steamboat. This is also one that I might just leave here for a while because I do love the way this build looks. And right here is actually a vintage wooden duck. It's a much smaller wooden duck than the one I have at home, which kind of makes sense. This is a much smaller version of my own LEGO collection, but this is actually one of the vintage LEGO items that they produced before LEGO was even making plastic toys. They were making wooden toys, and that's an example of the duck. You are watching the Duck Bricks channel after all, so it made sense to have a duck here. Moving upwards, of course, I've tried to make most advantage of all the space here. This is actually a LEGO item. It is from one of the LEGO baby sets, which they were kind of making toys for babies, so had to include that there. This is also a LEGO item. This is a Nestle exclusive cereal box LEGO Bionicle toy. Again, we have some pretty obscure things here, and of course you have some of the newer sets that were just sent me, and I'm particularly pleased at how I was able to find a spot for the brand new LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 3 motorcycles set here, because that kind of just fits right on those platforms for the steamboat. Going up to the upper shelves, we've got the new GWP of the Space Baby alongside one of the custom ones that I got last year in Denmark. We have the Bricker Build's Eye of Agamotto, which actually does light up. I do have a battery in there, so I can turn it on. Botanical set. This is really cool. This is actually something I just picked up. It is a prototype Bionicle Toa Liwa Nuva. You can see it's a prototype because of the sticker on the foot here, and each of the pieces are actually specially produced. They're not actually how the pieces looked. You can see the layering used in producing this all the way back in 2002. So very, very special, very, very rare item, and he's just gonna live there temporarily until I find a better place to put him. We've got some more F1 stuff up there, and then up at the very top there are some of the LEGO Friends sets, plus the LEGO Star Wars brickheads for Revenge of the Sith and Luke Skywalker. All right, moving on to quickly going over here, we have the LEGO Art Tiger set. I've started to wall mount some Ninjago sets to the wall. You know, you gotta mount all the Cook Jago sets to the wall. This will probably get filled with Ninjago stuff as the year goes on. And in the skies above me, it isn't a Duck Bricks collection without some sets hanging from the ceiling. So of course, I had to highlight some of my favorite recent pickups like the brand new Temple Bounty. What a beautiful set, super, super great model. You've got the J Jockey right there, which is Jay's mech riding a dragon. You've got the UCS Jango Fett Slave 1, the U-Wing from Andor, and I even got a Bionicle Akir Creature of Fire because I had to have some Bionicle representation here. Also flying in the skies above are the Boeing and NASA Shuttle Carrier and Shuttle, as well as a LEGO Snap set to pay some homage to history, and one of the new Jurassic World dinos. And going on over to these shelves, that up there is actually a display minifigure from a store. I got that from the same place I got the banners. It's a store in Singapore, and I've seen those all around Europe and Asia. Always wanted to get my hands on one, never got one until now, so it's super cool to add it to my collection. Pretty much everything else on those shelves are just LEGO Friends stuff, as well as some vintage items I was able to pick up recently on some visits to used LEGO stores, like the Vintage Pirate set. You've got some more brickheads there, some Snap, Achima Speedors, as well as a battle pack I was able to pick up just extra. Tucked away in the back corner there is a recreation of the canceled LEGO Indiana Jones Temple of Doom set, but if you zoom in and look closely, I actually do own the official voodoo doll from that canceled set. It escaped from the factory and made its way into the hands of Duck Bricks. Moving onwards, we have some other great LEGO items. These are probably going to just stay here. We have the two brand new Ninjago Legends sets, the Guardian Dragon here, as well as the Fire Night Mech, some beautiful sets that act as display models, and they're standing atop one of the most expensive LEGO sets in this room, the $5,000 LEGO Castle chess set, which I've put out a couple of videos on. And you can check out even a video of some chess legends duking it out on that chess set. Moving on to here, we've got some more of the Jurassic World stuff, the Endgame battle, which just came out, the mini-scale Kylo Ren shuttle. I'm excited to get rid of that one and move it to my collection. That is not a nice-looking set. We have the new Simpsons set, the return of Simpsons after nearly 10 years, which is pretty crazy to see. The Krusty Burger right here, and you should have seen a review of this up on my channel pretty recently. We've got one of the largest Snap sets here, again, a very strange piece of LEGO history. And then one of my personal favorite items in this satellite collection is this. If you don't know what this is an original LEGO Bionicle Toy Fair special gift only given to members of the Toy Fair in 2001 to actually check out the brand new launch of Bionicle. And it's super cool because you can open it up and you can see it lights up. So there's lights going around, the eyes light up, and when you remove the mask, Bionicle, find the power indeed. It's such a weird item, and I don't know exactly how many of these still exist, but it's super cool. There's even a CD. It tells you, like, if you're up for an adventure, you can schedule your tour of the LEGO showroom in New York. So, I mean, I guess it's made its way back home, which is pretty funny. And you can take it out. It's a Bionicle CD. Look at that mini CD right there. LEGO 2001, Find the Power. So it's super cool. A very, very interesting item. You've got some lore tidbits, and it really just shows what LEGO was really trying to tease when launching a new universe with Bionicle back in '01. Putting that aside though, we've got just some final sets here. We have the Parisian Cafe, some magazine gifts, because I do have those European magazines sent directly here, the Smeagol and Deagle GWP, and we have some minifig bleachers of just random minifigures I've collected over my time over the past few months here, so I just kind of stuck them on the bleachers because I thought that would be funny. We've got the Heart Lake City Airport, some more Friends stuff, a Star Wars Clone Wars battle happening on this shelf, and then finally the Architecture Trevi Fountain up there, which is a really nice set. And, of course, the LEGO goodness continues. I had to have a Lego nightlight. I mean, I gotta be on brand, of course. It is literally a Lego stud nightlight. And speaking of being on brand, the room is obviously duck themed for duck bricks. You have a duck nightlight over here, you've got duck bed sheets, the duck pillow, and if you even go into here, obviously one thing I didn't mention is you even have the Lego branded wooden shelves here and coat hangers, although here I'm just kind of using them as decorations. But going into here, yes, the entire bathroom is duck themed. We've got the duck floor mats, we've got a duck here, duck there, duck laundry baskets, even a duck mat as you enter the shower. It's all good. It's good duck stuff. So, of course, I had to be 100% fully on brand for duck bricks. And one quick thing I forgot to mention here, you might be wondering how I managed to film videos and appear in my collection, even though I'm here in New York. Well, it's what we call a little bit of movie magic. You may notice some of these lights all around the room. Well, we've got a portable green screen. That's right, in a flash, we can put my Lego collection up on this wall, and then it just tucks away, we're ready to go. Again, we are using all of the available space here, and then these lights, of course, I can use to just move around and point directly at me. And of course, there's even more. We have my own portable lighting studio here. It is a much smaller version of the review studio that I use at home, but it gets the job done decently well, and it's just really nice because this is just a very compact version of what I have at home. But now let's get back to the tour. Of course, diving deep into here after we've seen the lights, we have the stash, where of course I have some Duck bricks here all ready to go, and playing cards to play one of my favorite card games to rock, although of course, they have to be Lego themed playing cards. These are actually really cool. They are pirate Lego playing cards, and some of the cards actually have minifigures on them, so definitely an interesting piece of Lego history if I do say so myself. Of course, literally every item in the room has to be branded to either Lego or ducks. Just like this mug here, which is of course Lego minifigure branded, holding my EpiPen because I'm allergic to nuts, and my actual pens. Duckbricks has to be set up with the latest state-of-the-art gaming PC right here, ready to play every single Lego game. Is it overkill? Absolutely, but it is a lot of fun, and stay tuned for a separate video where we actually put this together and then played some Lego games on the PC. Of course, one of my favorite items here is an actual Lego retail display sign. Yes, this is a legitimate store sign used in Europe that says Lego on it naturally. And of course, it had to be hanging in my room. Now outside my apartment room, there are a couple of Lego items here. I've been asked to keep it to a minimum, but I had to have at least two really special items. The first one is my Lego set that was actually based off of my winning build from Lego Masters Season 4, and we've kind of turned it into a photo wall commemorating all sorts of memories of the three roommates, hanging out, having fun with friends, and this was just a lot of fun to put together, and spotted any Lego YouTuber cameos you might see, because there are quite a lot of them sprinkled throughout here as well. So this was a lot of fun to do. But the really special item is, of course, my son right here. Batman was obtained through a random eBay listing that was literally based in New York. I got incredibly lucky. Somebody was just selling this official glued model of Batman. What will I do with it when I move out? I don't know. But for now, he is going to live here. It's actually really cool. It's based off of the newer version of Batman with a new cowl element introduced in like 2021, I want to say 22. So it's pretty recent. And you even have a full-on fabric cape. It's a pretty good material. The way that he's like standing on the stud is nice. You can see the Lego logo using studs on the side techniques, which is super cool. I might do a separate video just showcasing the crazy journey it took to get this guy in our apartment, but for now, this is Batman, and let's wrap up the tour. Since filming the initial tour, there have been some pretty major changes to the apartment, and I actually held off on posting this video until these arrived. These are exclusive official Ninjago banners from Brickworld Chicago during the events which I had a part in hosting, like the Monstrosity World Premiere, as well as dressing up as Sensei Wu and training young ninja. I was able to collect the banners, and of course I use them to decorate the apartment. I also have this large Bionicle store display here, probably not the permanent spot for it, but you know, it's gonna live there for now until I figure out a better place. Some more banners have popped up, and there are even more banners I need to find new spaces for. Like this Ninjago Day of the Departed banner, there's a Possession one folded away in here. I have no idea where I'll put that. I've got an Atlantis one there, which is super cool, the Portal of Atlantis, and as you can see, all of the Lego in the room has been changed. I'm gonna do a separate video on how on earth I transport all my Lego back home, but you can see that pretty much a lot of the new sets are now on the shelves. I am already running out of shelf space, so I'm going to definitely need to make a trip back home very, very soon and just offload all the Lego. I try to do it at least once a month to get all the Lego back home. But the best part of all is the Train Your Flow banner in the bathroom. You know, when I saw these banners, I was like, I need Train Your Motion right outside my bedroom and Train Your Flow in the bathroom, and of course, I was able to set it up. I don't really know how I was able to fit it in, but I'm very happy I did. And now the closet has been totally overtaken by the Lego backlog. There are so many sets in here to build. Most of this is like June Lego releases that I've been traveling for a while, so I haven't really been able to build them, but you know what? There's always Lego in every single part of this room, which is pretty much the best part about the room itself, is there's absolutely always something to do, something to build, and of course, there's a lot of training to happen in the bathroom and bedroom if you want to train your motion and flow. Well, you know where to go. And with that, we have pretty much summed up all that you have to see in my New York apartment here. It has quickly become a Lego room of its own, and I might do this if folks are interested. Let me know in the comments. I might do something like this every few months because the shelves will be completely different. There's going to be like double the things hanging from the ceiling, and just see how this space continues to evolve. So with that, thank you so much for tuning into Duckbricks. This was just a fun video to showcase my collection here in New York, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more Lego news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.